How to practice is an understatement here. I'm so out of practice. So here we go. Welcome to Search for Mighty Max. This is the show where me and my brother search for, find, and talk about toys. Just making sure my lights came on. So as you can see, I got my brand new shelf. It's super, super dope. It's actually called a barrister or a lawyer's bookcase because we're getting legal in here. We're getting real legal. Is that the right word? We're getting intense in here, okay? We're stepping it up. We're putting our stuff in some cool places so we can see through them and keep them safe and everything, and that's what we're doing. So as you already saw, because I clipped in everything that's in there already, what I wanted to do today is kind of mix it up because for the past 18 weeks, I thought it'd be a good idea to be in a doctoral program. And that has been absolutely insane. And now I can kind of come back to life and do some things that are not academic. Unfortunately, I'm not going to continue in that program. I don't think that it's not the right fit for me. And I really need to work on my health thing, because it was not the best idea to be like, oh, I just had a surgery, so let me go back to school. Probably not the best timing, but it was definitely a very crazy learning experience. I feel like I learned a lot, but we're here now. I'm back doing some Search for Mighty Max videos, and I got the new shelf during all that craziness, and I was able to populate it with some cool stuff. I wasn't buying a lot, but I was hitting my budget every month because I was buying something very, very specific. I was very specifically honed in on one particular thing. So see how I can do this. Normally I have the stuff out and I can just be like, here's the stuff, check it out. But today I got to kind of talk about it a little bit and pull some stuff out. So my idea here was I'm in an educational leadership program. That's the program I was in. And I was like, all right, I need like some motivation, something to help me get through this program. And I was like, what leaders do I know, right? And I was like, Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles. Absolutely. One of my favorite characters of all time. Happens to be a leader in his team. And then we got Power Rangers, where we got the Red Ranger, who was the original leader of the team. And then you got the Green/White Ranger, who later becomes the leader of the team. So I was like, okay, I got to put those guys in there. However, in the back of my mind, I'm like struggling through this program because I'm trying to look for my why. I'm like, why am I doing this program? I'd always seen these administrators and different people in the field of education. And it's like, is that what I want to do? Do I want to be an administrator? So that's why I went into the program. But leadership is not administration. Those are two things. Maybe they overlap in some ways,
but they're not exactly the same thing. Oh, so I had my library up here of my textbooks. Those are my readings and stuff I needed to do, papers and whatnot. And then I had some Mighty Max stuff over here in the corner. I was planning on putting some more stuff up there, but I never got around to it. But yeah, that's where I put all my books. I'm planning on replacing that with some nerd books in the future. So that's what I'm planning to do. Case in point, I found this comic book, City Fall, from the Ninja Turtles. This is from IDW Turtles. And this is where Leonardo gets like brainwashed into leading the Foot Clan. And I was like, that's freaking amazing. I haven't even read this yet, but I was like, I'm going to pick that up because that's incredible. What a crazy story, right? And just so happens that an action figure came out, Dark Leonardo. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to get, it was actually the action figure that popped up for me first. And I said, they made an action figure of that? Are you serious? I was like, I'm going to grab that. And then I got to get the comic book so I can read the story behind that. Because I really like Leonardo. And the fact that Leonardo would turn to the dark side was a story that I wanted to read. But I've been doing schoolwork, so I didn't get a chance to read it yet. But yeah, here's the comic book and the action figure. And I was like, yes, what a combination. Last Ronin's still in there. 2 of my 2012 big old Toys R Us exclusive figures. Got this cool little lunch pail. Got nothing in it. But I was like, what's up with that? Somebody was throwing it away at my girlfriend's work, and she was like, I know someone that might like that. And I was like, yeah, you do know someone that might like that. Now, I do like the 2012 series more than the OG Turtles, because this one's pretty cheese to watch nowadays. But I can appreciate that it was there, and it brought, you know, popularity to the Turtles. And then I got the movie Leonardo that's in there. And then I have this crossover Leonardo Blue Ranger thing, which I was like, what? So what's up with that? That's pretty sweet. Picked that up at an Asian Fest, which is a campus event at one of our local colleges here. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. So I was trying to do like a Leonardo shelf, but I really still wanted Raphael part of it because I think the dynamic between Leonardo and Raphael is one of the more interesting character type things ever that I've ever seen. Man, I need a dust. Oh my god. What was I even saying before that amazing sneeze? So the dynamic between Raphael and Leonardo, I think, is one of the better dynamics, because when you're a leader, occasionally you're going to be challenged and people are going to have different ideas than you. And I think Raphael embodies that and says, no, I think things need to be like this, and keeps Leonardo on his toes. So without Raphael, I don't think Leonardo would be the leader that he is for the Turtles. So I got to keep Raphael in there. And that's my turtle shelf. So what I'll be ended up doing is I'm going to put my comics and different things on the top there. But I definitely want to keep this still as like a turtle shelf. So let's get this out of here. I'll keep this in here. I'll probably update this with some more stuff later. Okay, Power Rangers. So last year, I got, come out of there. Austin St. John came to town. Just checking my camera. Austin St. John came to town, and I can't see if this is actually filming my stuff. Maybe like that. So anyway, Austin St. John came to town. I got the Red Ranger signed because I said that would be pretty sweet. And he did his signature like so perfectly on this. I said, dude, that's so cool. That looks so good. And of course, the certificate of authenticity. So I got the Red Ranger there signed. And funny story about this Gold Ranger. I'm actually going to show you the clip right now. Going on a drive today, picked up a shelf. It's in the back there. So I can display some collectibles. I got a little buddy today from the same shop, TNT Collectibles. Wait, TNT Antiques and Collectibles in Modesto, California. So I got the Gold Ranger. He was sitting on top of a shelf, and I said, fuck yeah. But yeah, coming back home, and then I can display some stuff properly. So peace out. Webs out. Webs out. Peace out. Gold Ranger! Going on a ride! Haven't started moving yet, but here we go. So that's where this guy came from. When I bought this shelf, this action figure was not sitting on top of the shelf. It was on another one, but still. I walked in and I was like, hey, I'm here to pick up that barrister cabinet, the lawyer's bookcase one. And when I was checking out, on the top of another bookcase was this guy just hanging out right on top. And I said, what? I guess I need to pick that up because Austin St. John's character also plays the Gold Ranger. So I said, okay, so he plays Jason, and Jason is the Red Ranger, and then Jason is also the Gold Ranger. So, and he was coming to town that same week that I picked up the bookshelf. I said, are you kidding me right now? So picked this up within the week, got it signed. So I had both of these signed, which was really nice because what I wanted to do was certificate of authenticity. Can't forget that. I wanted to have a pairing for these craziness, which this is what freaking blew my budget, man. I got a signed Green Ranger, which, you know, I've been searching for and waiting, search for, find, and talk about signed Power Ranger toys that are uberly expensive. So it popped up. The signature's a little bit smeared, and the reason that it's smeared is because he got a Legend of the White Dragon card signed as well. And the handler put the card on top of the wet signature. Ugh! And it just smeared them both just a teeny tiny, not a teeny tiny bit, like a bit, like it's noticeable. But I think that's the reason I was able to afford this, because this one, just this action figure, like, is pretty hot. But having it signed, holy shit. And then around, I think the next month or whatever, it was pretty close timing. I was like, oh no, I've been waiting for this one to be signed, because this is like, that's like the best. Like, the White Ranger was the freaking most badass with the freaking Tiger Sword and everything. Green Ranger is cool, but like, I've always leaned more towards the White Ranger. I understand now, being older, why the Green Ranger is kind of like, the storyline's cooler because it's like dark and this and that and blah blah blah. But I don't know, I just liked it when he kind of became the leader and was kind of like, all right guys, we're leading the team, and using the footage from a different show because they were borrowing all that Japanese footage. So they were borrowing it from a different Power Ranger series later to pop him in. I just think that's hilarious. So yeah, ended up getting, I had the Red Ranger signed already, and then when I picked up the shelf, I got the Gold Ranger signed, and then a couple months before that, Green Ranger popped up, had that little card signed as well. I said, oh hell yeah. And then also had the White Ranger pop up shortly after that, and I went, god damn it. I was trying not to spend anything these months, but too freaking bad because, like I said, I was on a mission. I was like, I'm getting these freaking things signed. I just want to knock out all the Power Ranger signatures so I can just be like, I got them all, you know? So there's that photo too. I still got a little work to do because I got Jason, David, Frank here in the picture. I don't have Walter. And I got David Yost signed here, but I don't yet have an action figure signed for him. So dang it. But I did do some other work, which actually relates to this right here, because this says LA Comic-Con, October 4th through the 6th, 2024. This was on Saturday. Check my cameras. Okay, so let's put these off to the side. Insanity. Can't believe I have all those. Oh, I want to note too, I do have a signed Lord Draken, which is like evil, super evil Tommy, like actually evil Tommy. Which I was like, are these comparable? And I was like, no, these are not comparable because this is alternate universe Tommy, and this is like Leonardo, like the actual Leonardo. In the IDW comics, it's the actual Leonardo who becomes brainwashed. So because this was like alternate universe, whatever stuff, I was like, that's not the OG Tommy. So not quite comparable. And honestly, when I was in that program, this is what I was feeling like, man. I was feeling like, oh my God, where the hell? This doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm in the wrong place. Like I have degrees in psychology. I'm in a program for education. Oh man. If I was going to go back to get a doctorate, I probably should do it in some kind of psychology field because this one was hurting my soul. Like I said, I learned a lot. People that I was with were very, very smart and intelligent. They had a lot to offer. The activities were interesting. Group work was interesting. My papers I made work for me to kind of work through some stuff. We even studied like disability a little bit. And I talked about my surgery, which was really helpful for me. So all in all, a good experience. I do have a little bit of student loans to pay off now, but it's not that bad. And I have some units under my belt now. So hopefully I can use those for professional growth or something later. But I digress. Yo.
Oh, you're recording? My bad.
No. I'm in between. All right, had to take a little break, get a little bit more situated. About 15 minutes, enough time for Power Rangers Unauthorized, which is an amazing Power Rangers rendition, if I don't say so myself. And I also noticed in some of my footage that my other camera is totally facing the wrong way, and you can't really see anything. So sometimes it's good to have a break, because then you could adjust things and make the video better. I'm always like hopeful that it's going to be like the best episode ever. And then I make production issues or whatever. So I take the fragments of footage and I piece it together the best I can, because I don't really like reshooting stuff if I'm, saying stuff off the cusp. Especially if it's coming from the heart. So I'm like, it's just, that was the moment. The moment has passed. So that's what it is. So hopefully this episode will come together. Talking about my shelf here, my brand new shelf. Got through the Power Ranger stuff. Got through the Ninja Turtle stuff. Got through the first wave of Power Ranger stuff. So now I'm going to go through the second wave of Power Ranger stuff. I was talking about this cool thing, the LA Comic-Con, October 4th through the 6th in 2024. So that was just a few short months ago. I actually had my last day of class 2 days ago. What is today, the 18th? I'll put a clip. My days are getting all kinds of wonky now. I think it's the 18th because I had my last day of class and I had to do a presentation. I was freaking out about it, and I got it done. And then Tuesday, I just died. The worst stress headache of my life, dude. My whole brain was rebooting. I called out from work. I didn't even do anything. I just stared at the ceiling and rethought my whole life. And now it's Wednesday, and I have energy to do a Search for Mighty Max episode. But yesterday, I did get to play some video games, finally, after these past 18 weeks of not being able to do really anything fun. So, Bro was on, so that was cool. And I guess I'm gonna give a shout out right now too. Shout out to my girlfriend and my bro. I was definitely miserable being in school, but my girlfriend was like supportive the whole way. She's like, "You got this. You can do this." She's like, "I do notice that you're pretty miserable though. You sure this is what you want to be doing with your life?" And I always had that in the back of my head, like I'm gonna finish this semester off. I'm pretty sure I got A's. I'm gonna get some good grades. I'm gonna do everything well. I'm gonna do everything complete with the kind of false intention that I'm going to keep going. But I was like, I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to keep going and treat everything as seriously as if I was going to continue this program and finish it out. Which I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I did go to my last presentation. That was on Monday. Tuesday died. Wednesday is now. And yesterday, like I said, I got to play some video games. So that was cool. Put me in a better mood for today. So I'm going to go through these one more time just so you can see them. Red Ranger. I'll set these up in a row so you can see them all. Because my other footage is probably real janky. Are you recording? Yes. You facing the right way? I hope so. Dominoes. No, I'm not going to do that. So we got the Red Ranger sign, Austin St. John. Gold Ranger signed. Also, Red Ranger sign, certificate of authenticity. Can't forget that. Gold Ranger sign, certificate of authenticity. Green Ranger signed, super cool card from Legend of the White Dragon. Hell yeah. Like I said, the signatures are a little scuffed, but honestly, I was like the card and the signature for the action figure that I wanted. I love these action figures. I love this action figure line. It's so rad to me. White Ranger signed. Honestly, too, it's so hard to find like decent signatures, and sometimes even with like the right colors. I was like, it's the White Ranger. It needs to have white ink, not gold ink or black ink or like really skinny ink. I was like, dude, what the freaking hell? Like, and sometimes the signature would be in like kind of weird places, and I'm like, bro, bring it together. So I was waiting for a good one for that, and I feel like that signature looks real nice. And then Lord Draken, which I didn't have in the shelf, but I wanted to show it off again because it's badass. So in the middle of going to school, I did manage to sneak away to an LA Comic-Con. And there's two Rangers there. The Black Ranger and the Pink Ranger. So Johnny Young Bosch, He plays the Black Ranger in the movie, and then going forward after Walter Emmanuel did all that. So I got a little quote on there because I'm a frog. That's like the best quote ever in a Power Rangers movie, or just any movie for that matter. And I said, "Can you write I'm a frog on there?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, of course I can." So we got to go to the Comic-Con. We kind of came late. I was definitely there for just the signatures. We kind of walked around like the whole place. But really, I was like, dude, I'm just here for signatures. We actually went, I did Amy Jo Johnson first because I got kind of turned around. Johnny Young Bosch was in the anime section, so my intent was to go get him first. But I couldn't find where that section was, and I ended up where she was. And I said, okay, guess I'm going to get Amy Jo Johnson first. And then she wrote Pterodactyl. She wrote Pterodactyl on there just because, and I didn't have to pay any more money. I asked her about her Power Rangers Return series. She was real cool about it. She's like, maybe we'll have a sequel, maybe we won't. I'm supposed to get that hardcover version of that comic book this month, so hopefully that's in the mail and coming. I got the digital issues already. Comic Story is pretty interesting. I thought it was cool. So got that signed. And for the authenticity, kind of different there because we paid for we had to go around. Actually, my girlfriend came with me, and then her sister and her sister's husband also came with me. So we got some people to come with us at the last minute, which was cool. They weren't really focused on any signatures or anything, but they still wanted to just kind of get out of town and come with us, which was awesome. So the authenticity is that little sticker right there. And I was like, what? I guess. But yeah, she was super cool. And I mean, she's pretty. She's still pretty. She's older. And I was like, wow, you're pretty. Look at that. Good for you. Staying healthy and all that. Johnny Young Bosch, so after that show, he started going into voice work. He did the English dub for Bleach. He plays Ichigo. And then he did some other work, which I'm not familiar with. And my girlfriend really likes Bleach, but she does watch the Japanese language version. So she never really heard like the dubbed version. But still, he's in there. And so we ended up taking a picture with him. I'll put that up here somewhere so you can see that. Because he was super cool dude. And they did a couple panels, but we didn't stay long enough we didn't come early enough or stay long enough to see those. But they did some panels, maybe in the future for another Comic-Con or something. Be a little bit more strategic about seeing the people in their different sessions. But for this, it was like, I'm just trying to get those signatures because she's Canadian. She don't ever come to the US. And I think Johnny, he's just famous, man, because he does actual acting. I feel like he's the only actor. I feel like he's the only actor in the only actual real actor in the Power Rangers stuff. Like he's the only one that knows how to act for real. And that's why he went into like anime and stuff, because he can act with his voice. But yeah, he was cool because we took a picture with him. He was kind of chatting with us. I was wearing a Zelda shirt, as you saw in the photo. He's like, oh yeah, you play Breath of the Wild? I was like, dude, I love Breath of the Wild. It's an amazing game. He's like, yeah, man, me too. Like, I was like, dude, Zelda? We're connecting here? Are we like best friends now? I was like, yeah, this is rad. He's super cool, trying to connect with me. I genuinely felt like he really liked being there and being around his fans, which is, getting into the fandom, all this stuff. Like, I can appreciate that. And I think for some of these famous people, I'm sure it could be hard. Like, oh my God, these freaking fans I'm a normal dude too, But yeah, he was super cool. So got the Pink Ranger, got the Black Ranger. Let's see. I got the Yellow Ranger from before. I want to put the White Ranger out because I feel like that's the best team that I want. And then I could put out Austin St. John as Jason Lee Scott, but no. You know what? Check this out. I got another one just recently signed by Rocky, by Steve Cardenas. He came in through town. A little bit later, same month that Austin St. John came through, after I got the shelf, after I got it signed for the Gold Ranger, he came through town with the Yellow Ranger. So I got to see them again. I had already had something signed by her. So I just was like, all right, I'm good. So went and met him. He does like some martial arts studio or something. I didn't really get to chat with him too much, but I was just like, yeah, man, you're like the movie Red Ranger. So I wanted to get a movie Red Ranger collection going. So I needed to get your signature. And he's like, yeah, technically I'm the only one who's supposed to sign this. And I was like, yes, I agree. But I also have Austin St. John in the same one. Because these are all the metallic figures. These are the movie Power Rangers, you know? So I had to get the Red Ranger for Rocky because he was in the movie. And then I asked, I needed to ask a question to Karen Ashley. And I actually asked Austin St. John when I was there too. Because they were supposed to have a movie together. And I was like, hey, can I ask about like this project that you're supposed to be part of? Called The Order. And Austin St. John was like, Karen Ashley was supposed to be producing that thing or in charge of production. So ask her. And I was like, you know, she's coming later this month, so maybe I will. So he was like, I'm still down to do it. And then when I asked her about it, she's like, we're trying to make it a TV series, but we don't have any money. And I was like, yep, that's usually how it goes. No money. Otherwise, you can't produce anything. But they had a trailer for it, and it looked interesting. Because, yeah, they're actors, kind of. And we'll see if they be any good in anything. And at the same time, we're still waiting for Legend of the White Dragon to come out, which who knows if that's ever going to be released. Cross our fingers that they end up releasing that, because, man, it's already made. We saw the trailers. Johnny Young Bosch is in it. I'm like, come on, just release it. Let us participate in the fandom. But in the meantime, these are the Rangers I have for the movie. I'm really only missing our best buddy, David Yost, which I have here. So technically I have all the signatures, but I'm still waiting on one. I got to go back to the beginning and get David Yost to sign, so that way I can have a full, complete set of Rangers signatures. But for now, I do have it right here. So I do have a full set of signatures, but I don't have a full set of signed Power Rangers Legacy metallic figures. But that's my goal. So when he comes through town, I actually posted on his Facebook, because I follow him. He posted something, and I said, hey, 2025, don't forget to come through California. And he said, don't you worry, I'm coming to California in 2025. And I said, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting here. So that's what I got so far. So let's see. I got to be strategic about this. These are the ones I want to put in there, because I think I did the leadership kind of thing because I was in school for a leadership program. But I really want, multiple turtles in here. Leonardo was definitely my focus for the past semester, the past 18 weeks. Red Ranger and Jason Lee Scott and Tommy Oliver, that was my focus for the past semester, 18 weeks. I was focused on leadership. I was trying to get pumped. But now I think it's more important to look at the whole team. I think teams are what I'm really, really interested in. Because you can't be a leader without a team, right? So without, different members to lead, you don't have that type of function. So I really want to emphasize the teams in here. And check this out. I finally invested in some of these because it was a pretty good deal. And all these little figures I got at that toy fair. So I made a video about these already. But these fit like perfectly. I was like, I got a Red Ranger Micro Morphin playset. And I have the White Ranger one with the House Cat Power Coin. Which, how did they fuck that up? It's like, dude, it's supposed to be the little tiger emblem, not an actual tiger face. So like, what the hell? But Yeah, these are complete. So I have, Red's got his little, whatever that dragon thing is. White Ranger had Tiger Zord. This one had not the pterodactyl, but the Thunder Firebird. So that was in there. And then I got Pink Ranger and Green Goblin from Spider-Man, maybe. And Goldar's in that one, and Zed is in this one. So yeah, I got a pretty good deal on these, and I was like, dude, I freaking love those play sets. They're kind of janky, but because they're morphers, like, morphin' time. White Tiger Zord. Awesome. So I got those, and then I threw my White Tiger Zord in there as well, because I was like, of course, I gotta have a Zord in there. And that's the one that I have. I do have the Dragon Zord here. It's just really tiny. So I'm going to throw these in here. Blue I'm going to throw on the side, because we're still working on that. Do red. See if I can get everything in here. I just have to do like the OG team. But we'll see. Then can I throw white on this side? Oh, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I just need a signed Blue Ranger, and then I'm in business, boy. Let's throw these back in here, because these are killer. No Green Ranger in here, but I'm gonna throw him in there anyway, because why not? Alpha 5, I think I had you in the middle. Throw you back in the middle. Goldar. This little bike. Red Ranger. There's actually the green Zeo Ranger, but he can hang out in there too. That's fine. Blue. Put him in that corner. I'm gonna put the White Tiger Zord and the Ranger away. And the putty can hang out over here. Full, my friends. That is a full Power Rangers cupboard. So that was my past semester and what I did for my collecting. Like I said, I didn't buy a lot, but what I did buy was expensive. So knocked out my budget pretty much every time. But now that that's kind of out of the way, I just got to wait for that Blue Ranger. I do want to get Walter's signature on the photo to have that complete. And then I'll be good with, I think I'll be set for Power Rangers. And then I can move on to greener pastures, or at least something different. One of my goals is definitely consolidation. I'm going to replace this up here, get this all cleared out, so that way I can replace it with some books. Probably do that around Christmas time. That'll be a nice little project during the winter break, because we get a week off from work. So that's what I'll do. What else can I say? This has been fun. It's fun getting back to kind of the hobby and looking at some of this nerd stuff, because the characters are cool. The stories are cool. It's nice motivation that sits in the corner. I can look back there and, it helped me be motivated the past semester. I kept looking at Dark Leo, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm like, I feel like I'm in a freaking cult right now. Like all this stuff they're trying to teach me in this program, I feel like I'm in a cult, and that's probably not good. Like I said, though, I learned a lot. I think it was a really good experience. If I continue my education in the future, it'll be a little bit more specific. I'll be more better prepared for it. And if I never go back, I'm completely fine with that. Like, I'm set. I have my master's degree. I'm doing work that I really, really like. I was promoted during that time to be a senior researcher. Totally forgot to mention that, so I'm mentioning it now. So at the same time of going back to school, I also took on a new job, which is an amazing job, and I really, really like it. And that also helped me kind of figure out my career, kind of figure out the way I want to go. But I do know that whatever way I'm going, you know, the retro stuff, the nostalgia, the connection with my bro, man, my girlfriend was super supportive this last semester, getting me through that program. Bro was also super supportive. I don't know if you know this, bro, but I was like waiting. I was like, I would go to work and I would know that you'd be streaming. And I was like, all right, man, that's going to get me through my day. I'm just going to put a stream on, see what games he's playing. So that was helpful. That was helpful, bro. I can see why people would just like throw a stream on, because I was stressed with that new job and going to school and really not being able to have as much fun and pursue any hobbies. That sucked. I was freaking miserable. So getting back to it, learned a valuable lesson in life, and you know, I wouldn't trade that for anything. I think that's what I needed to do. I needed to do this. So yep, this is kind of we got a new season going on, season 4 here, and that's kind of my life update, as long as my life update, as well as my, you know, collection update, seeing where I'm at. So thanks for joining us today, and Web's out. Peace out.
What is up, man? Welcome to Legends, Comics, and Games. This is the spot to be. If you're not here tonight, you better be here tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, from noon to 2 p.m. because that's where we're going to drop it. We're getting all this done. I've got photos, I've got 8x10s, I've got my comics, I've got book 1, I've got book 2, and I've got you. Come by and tell me what is up. Tell me what it was like watching Power Rangers in your house. Or just tell me, were you a good guy fan or a bad guy fan? Were you Rita? Were you Zed? Were you Scorpina? Were you, tell me. I'm going to be here. And Sunday, I'm going to be at the other store in Clovis, in Fresno. Fresno is what I meant to say. I'm going to be in Fresno on Sunday. Drop by. You see how Rita, she's already playing games with me. She's already twisting my mind. Show up before she gets me. Let's do this, yo. What up, man? This is Austin St. John Jason, the original Red Ranger. I'm right now at Legends and Comics here in Clovis. I'm here all until the last man stands. Noon to 2 or the last man stands. So if somebody's in line, I'm going to take care of it. Much love. Drop by. I will see you here. Or check me out tomorrow in Fresno at the other store. I will see you there. I will stay until the last man in line has been taken care of. Much love. Come tell me your story. What's going on, man? This is Austin St. John. I'm at Legends Comics and Games in Fresno. I'm here today starting at noon, and I'll be here till the last man standing. So drop by, say what's up, let me know what's on your mind. If you got gear, bring by your gear. If you just want to tell me your story, I'd love to know your story. What was it like in your house when you watched the show? Much love.
Hey guys, it's me, Karen Ashley. You know me as Aisha the Yellow Power Ranger. I'm here today in Clovis, California at Legends Comics. So come and see us. Me and Steve Cardenas, we're here. We're like gonna be signing autographs, hugging people. We're here. It's morphin' time.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and I'm here in Clovis, California at Legends Comics and Games. I'm gonna be here with Karen Ashley. We're gonna start signing at noon. We're gonna go from noon to 2 or until the last fan is standing. So I hope I can see you guys here, and you know what time it is. It's morphin' time.